Hey, welcome to episode number 39 of the Ask Sri Vishwanath show. In today's episode, we speak about how to transition from knowledge to realization in the fastest possible way.
You ask questions and I answer them. This is the Ask Sri Vishwanath show.
Alright, so today's question is from Russell, and Russell asks, I'm very good in absorbing wisdom, but I'm really bad, horrible in implementation. So what are the suggestions? So, Russell, that's a great question, and I think it's a very beautiful question that most of us. The transition from knowledge to realization is really the key. It's like we have to stop expecting and start executing. So execution trumps everything they say. So execution is the key. And so here I want to give you 2 points. So there are 2 things here. The great ones say, Krishna says that works on all sides are done by the constituents of Prakriti. He is deluded who thinks I am the agent. So works on all sides are done by the constituents of Prakriti. He who is deluded thinks I am the agent. So what Krishna says is all actions, all the works, all realization, all everything, action, inaction, all these things are done. And I want you to pay proper attention, are done because of 3 things. He calls it gunas, and he bifurcates them into sattvic, which is all your divine qualities that you have accumulated, not just this lifetime, but many lifetimes. He calls it sattvic, divine qualities. Rajasic is intellectual qualities, all your intellectual qualities. And tamasic is all your instinctive qualities. So, every day after you get up and you come in contact with the world, every second you are having either a sattvic, rajasic or tamasic reaction, because you bump with the world, with people, with events, with books, with work and whatever, and there is a reaction, and you're accumulating either a sattvic, which is a divine attribute, a rajasic, which is an intellectual attribute, or a tamasic. And these 3 are like the waves, and they keep on accumulating. And so whatever action or inaction we do today is because of these waves which have accumulated for ages and decades and centuries ago. So it's like when we say we are like billions and billions of waves all bifurcated into this 3. And so today if I'm able to do something or not do something, it's because of these waves. So these waves help us to react as well as to act. So what we are doing now is the fruit of the earlier actions, and what we do now will become the fruit of. So these waves, Krishna says, are what drives all action and action. I just want to keep it simple that you got to know that the reason why, that the easiest way to transition from knowledge to realization is to transcend these 3. Because these 3 are the reason why we get stuck up in knowledge. If you have a lot of intellectual waves, you just get stuck up. You keep on accumulating, but you don't do anything. A lot of instinctive ways, that could be a block. And the divine could be better, but again, it depends. So these are the 3 ways. And so what Krishna says is, you focus on the knowledge to get to the knowledge of the consciousness. He says, increase your hunger, don't worry about the knowledge. He says, don't worry about the knowledge of the consciousness. Increase your hunger for this knowledge of consciousness. Increase your hunger. Increase your hunger. Like, I want to see God, I want to get in touch with Him. I really take one sentence and just dive into it fully. Like, okay, how do I do this? Like, become mad. How do you do when you're robbed of your, when you're told to go away from your job? You start searching for your work like a mad person, and you have no earnings. You sort of try to get your first dollar, or try to get, or when you're robbed of your belongings. How do you go after that? So go after consciousness, like you're hungry, increase your hunger. This is what I did. Like when I started 15 years back, think the reason I was able to, I succeeded or I did a decent job is because my hunger was sky high. My knowledge was just like any other person, but my hunger was sky high to really embrace this consciousness, to get in touch with it, to know it and know it completely. I want to know it completely. And so that led me to Swami Vivekananda's book. I read, I devoted, I practiced, and it's kept on doing. And this hunger is the fuel. It is what will take you there and ultimately will take you to a place of realization. So that is what, because otherwise you will be tormented by these waves of Rajasic, Sattvic and Tamasic, and you will feel that there is some problems in you. You don't have any problem. You see, the problems kind of waves. And Krishna says you got to transcend the wave by increasing your hunger. Forget about the knowledge of the consciousness. Forget about realization. Just increase your hunger. Keep that in the back of the mind. And the way to do that, and the reason why the hunger is important, Krishna says, is because A, it will help you to persevere in your journey of spirituality. You see, spirituality is a journey. So if you increase your hunger without worrying too much of the knowledge, it will, increase, it will help you persevere in your journey of spirituality. And many people fool themselves saying, okay, I've got what I want and all that stuff. Second is, hunger helps you to keep the fire burning. It's like we need the fuel every day. Every day you got to get up and say, okay, I got to meditate, I got to pray, I got to know God, I got to know this a little bit more, a little bit better, a little bit to control my emotions every day. So when you increase the hunger, when you're hungry, you search for food. So increasing the hunger help you increase the fuel, the fire burning within you, and it will ensure that every day you get up, no matter what good or bad happens, you get up and say, no, I got to see God, I got to control my emotions, I got to see this. And that will be this thing. And third is, hunger will help you not to give up. You see, most people give up very easily. After 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, you will never give up for life if you have this hunger. If there's fire burning, there's always be fuel. So those are three. And the fourth thing, first is perseverance, helps you in perseverance. Second is keeps the fire burning. Second is it helps you not to give up. And the fourth and the most important is it helps you do this magical thing of devotion and surrender. You see, when the hunger reaches a climax, you get to this bliss of devotion and surrender the consciousness. And that which you're seeking, you surrender to that and it opens up the door. And so, it is written in the Upanishad, the supreme self, smaller than the smallest, higher than the highest, lies concealed in the heart of all creatures. Know it to be all pervasive. This supreme self cannot be attained by study of the scriptures or vast learning. It is revealed to him who wholeheartedly seeks for it. To such an aspirant, the supreme self reveals its true nature. And that's what it is. Russell, the devotion and surrender is beautiful and you really get it. And Vivekananda wrote a beautiful poem. He says, "Thy knowledge I value not, O Lord. It is thy love that I fear. It is thy love that shakes my throne and brings God to human tear. For love, behold the Lord of all, Lord the formless, ever free, that is made to take human form, to dance and play with thee. What learning they of Vrinda's grouse ever had, what signs the girls who milked the kine ever had. They loved, and him they bore." So it's reference to what learning of Vrinda's girl is. Krishna spent his childhood in Vrindavan, and his friends, they were not intellectual, and the coward girls, they never learned any science. So what learning they of Vrinda's girls ever had, what science the girls who milked the kine ever had, they never knew any science. They loved him, and him they bore. So increase your hunger and devotion and surrender and love, and you will be basking in the joy of realization. I hope that helped you, Russell. You keep asking questions, and I keep